Hi, my name is John Stritzinger. Welcome to Greenville Associates Development Course number 2. I am going to be showing you advanced database work that you're going to be using to tie to a web page. So at the end of this 3 little mini sessions, some people call them snippets, at the end of these 3 snippets you should be able to write an entire screen in Expressions4, which was a tool sort of between Microsoft Front Page and the current Visual Studio. Microsoft calls it Visual Studio 2010 now, so they have 14 versions after this. But this tool is simple. It's based on building websites quickly, and I think it is significantly better than the improvements made because all the improvements are so complicated that the average developer really can't comprehend them without years and years and years of experience. So what I'm going to show you today, I'm back to the same page I created before. I have just a refresh, I have a form here. This is a straight HTML form. I have 3 radio buttons and an input fields. I have created a button, and I have 2 images here. Now these images I can resize, I can drag them around, I can put them together. So this tool is designed, just like Front Page was, to make a very simple website. So I can make Aretha small. This is Aretha Franklin, who's a very famous singer. And I can move Aretha up to the top, and I can center her so that she's in the center of my page. And so I can format a screen very quickly and align it and do things as you would expect. So if you want to do that with straight HTML like I like to do, you can do split screen and look at the code up here, and or you can just do all code. But in any event, Microsoft gives you a way to do that very quickly. So I've created this little page. I've attached a button, and I have a data object here at the bottom that I've linked to my SQL Server, and I have one table that's linked to it. Now I'm going to add a second SQL source since the last time I did this. So what I'm doing, I'm just dragging one onto the screen. I now have a second SQL source, and I am going to link that to a table that I'm going to show you here. So I just went in to my training database that I created the last time, and I built a second table called courses, and I've added 3 lines to the courses. So I now have courses, values 1, 2, and 3, and I've inserted three different courses. The first is the basics, second is working with SQL Server, and the third we're going to actually go into a web server and make all this work. So that you can see that I didn't tell you any lies. That literally in 30 minutes you can build your own screen. So that's what we're going to shoot for. And then I just ran a select statement against courses. You can see that here. And if I go up and highlight select star from users and hit execute, I can see that there's just one user, and it's me. And there are 3 courses. And again, this is live. I'm not messing around with data. You can see that. Now, if you blow out the database here, you can click on the tables and it'll show you. So this is very similar to MySQL Workbench if you've used that before. And here on the database, I'm using integrated security, and you can see that there are users on my domain that are here, and I also have individual users that just have SQL Server logins. So the nice thing about working with a Microsoft environment is you can do very high-level security on your whole website very quickly. It doesn't do field-level permissions, but you can do page locking pretty quickly on a Microsoft site that's integrated into your domain. And in most companies, that's what they ask you to do very quickly, especially if you're trying to hack something up. So this will get you through dealing with your security department if you tell them that you've enabled specific domain level permissions. And you can also do groups of permissions, so you can have an app, you can add the app to a group and then add users to the directory group. So I've created this table. I now have courses, I now have users, and I'm going back to this screen, and I'm just going to minimize this for now. So I have this data source 2, and we're going to configure that, and we're going to do a new connection since I haven't done this before, and we're going to select SQL Server. Now you'll notice these are .NET2.0 drivers. So you can speak ODBC, you can speak SQL Server or Oracle by default, but if you use ODBC data source, you can do pretty much anything. I just warn you that there's some issues with 32 and 64-bit drivers, so they're very complicated. But SQL Server is easy, it works, and what I'm going to do is use the name pipes format. My server name is Chicago, my database, or my SQL instance is called ArcServe app, and I'm going to use Windows authentication, and my database name is TrainingDB, and you see that there, and we are going to click next and next, and now we have our name for our courses, and we're going to click advanced here because we're building a grid object. And we want this data source to generate the ASP information in the background. I'll show you what it does. And when you have a primary key in your table, then you can let Expressions4 build the ASP code for you. So you notice I'm not writing any code, and it will automatically create the select statement. Now you can add order by and other things later, but I recommend not doing it initially and just clicking next, and you can even test your query, and you can see that my same values are there. So you know already that Expression4 is working, and I'm going to click finish, and now data source 2 is configured. Now to get that data on the screen, I am going to draw a grid view, and I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to select data source 2 as my grid type, and I'm going to enable sorting, enable editing, enable deleting, enable selection, and I'm going to refresh the schema. Okay, so there it is. It's all set up and ready to go, and I can move it around, I think. Give it enough time. So I have my two data objects, I have my grid views, I'm going to move those up a little bit. Alright, so this program is now working, everything is linked, and in SQL Data Source 1, I am just going to do something really quickly here. Alright, so we have everything ready. This screen is built, and when I save this program and go out to the web, I have saved this into a directory called Training Videos. And there you can see that we have this demonstration for ASPX file. And you notice it's 712 right now, and I just saved it. And you can see that is a current file, so I'm not messing with you. And the two images that we're displaying are there as well. Now, if you right mouse click on that and open it with Notepad, you can edit it outside of Expressions4, but this program is now complete. That ends part 2 of our series. In part 3, I will show you how to make this all work on an IIS server.